Just because you're taking pictures with a smartphone, it doesn't mean that you can't take some highly technical shots. And that's what I'm doing here. One of the most challenging types of image for any photographer is capturing moving vehicles at fast speed. Let's give it a go. Now, what I'm trying to do with this shot is to get this dynamic sense of speed with a vehicle, where the vehicle is sharp, but it's the background that is all blurred. And to do that, this kind of intentional camera movement shot, there's a couple of things we need to do. Let me explain. Now, what I'm going to be doing is moving my body and the camera at the same rate at which the car is moving past me, kind of like spinning around as I'm doing it. And that means that if I keep my body at the same rate as the car is going by, then that is going to be sharp. But the background is going to be what's blurred to create that sense of movement and speed. The key to that, a couple of things. First of all, it's one of these. This is a clip-on lens. This is called an ND lens, which is neutral density. It's like a pair of sunglasses for your smartphone. It prevents some of the light from hitting your camera sensor. Now, why might you want to do that? Well, it's to control the exposure, and in particular, the shutter speed, because in order to get that sense of movement as we spin around, we need a much slower shutter speed. You might normally be taking a picture at 1/250th or 1/500th, depending upon the light, to really freeze that moment in time. But with this camera movement shot, we need to be much slower. I'm down here at 1/8 of a second, and well, without the neutral density filter on the front here, that shot would be horribly overexposed because there'd be so much light hitting the sensor. So with those two things together, I can get a shot that's going to be nicely exposed and introduce that movement that we want to get. The other key here, of course, is getting the timing right. I need to be moving at the same pace as the vehicles are moving past me. And that's not me moving my camera from side to side, it's spinning my body around, which is why standing in front of a roundabout is actually quite a good idea, because the cars do slow down a little bit, but I get to see them in the distance and they come towards me a little bit as well, so I can just judge their speed and judge the movement that little bit easier. Here's a vehicle, let's give this one a go. If I judge my movement at the same speed as the vehicle moving, then I should be able to have a relatively sharp vehicle and a really blurry background, getting a real suggestion of speed as the vehicle moves past, even though they're really not moving all that quickly. Here we go. Now, it's a bit of trial and error, as with all of these highly technical shots. One of the things to bear in mind as well is shutter lag. Now, every camera's got shutter lag, the delay between you pressing the shutter button and the image being captured. Every phone is going to be different with this, and it's a case of just learning it, really. There's another vehicle going by here. Let's give this one a go. So what I'm doing, I've got my camera really kind of locked into my body here, and I'm seeing the car as it approaches me, and then I'm turning my whole body to try and match the pace of it as it passes me. And the shutter lag, it's the difference between the car appearing in the middle of the shot and the car disappearing right off frame. So it's something you just learn to anticipate a little bit. And the secret with any trial and error is to have a look at the shots, see what's worked, see if any of those settings may need to change. I suggest we do that right now. This was one of my first attempts at this intentional camera movement techniques with a vehicle, and in many regards, it's quite successful. The vehicle itself, when you zoom in, is nice and sharp, which is great, exactly the effect I was after. Where it's less successful for me is the background. It is clearly blurry, which is the effect I wanted, but because I was on my one-time zoom, the background actually serves as a bit of a distraction. So yes for the car, no for the background. Lesson learnt, maybe have a look at a slightly tighter lens. With this shot, I switched to my 2x zoom lens, and Well, I would say it's mostly there. The deep black, rich black of the vehicle makes it seem fairly sharp, but when you zoom in, it's a little bit blurry. Of course, the background is nicely blurred, so I would say I've got maybe 80% of the technique, maybe 90% there, but I think I can do a little bit better with more practice. This image, I think, gets it about right, probably the best I could hope for at my first attempt at this technique. The colour of the car certainly helps, and the blue stands out against the bits of green that we see amongst the background and the foreground there, but the car itself is as sharp as you can hope for. Yes, the wheels are blurry, but those spokes moving around the hub are always going to be blurred, but the vehicle itself, the outline is nice and crisp. I'm so pleased that I was able to get this shot, because it just proves to me that, yes, you can do these highly technical shots even on a smartphone.